Welcome to the Analyze Boston SQL Client, designed to simplify the workflow of running SQL against Analyze Boston datasets. When you come to the tool, you might not know where to start, but the basic idea is, if you're familiar with the City of Boston's data portal, it offers tons of datasets, not limited to approved building permits, which if you go to, you can either download a very large CSV with about 100,000 rows, or you can use their preview tool, which is a little bit cumbersome to use. So if, for example, you wanted to look at a trend across all this data, it'd be very difficult to do it here, where it's just going to filter a table view. That's where the SQL client comes in. So when you come to the client, say you wanted to look at the total approved value of building permits year over year in East Boston, you'd write that query, which I've already done here, and run it, and it'll give you those exact results. So it's kind of an interesting trend. Maybe it reflects inflation or increased interest in East Boston, where the number's going up year over year. A bunch of things happened when I did that. First of all, I used the keyboard shortcut, Command-Enter, to run the query. I could have also hit Run Query right there. Second, when I got the results back, it added the results to my query history. So if I later run a second query, I can actually go back and forth to the results that I've already retrieved, and that'll continue as I continue to run queries. Further, we got a couple other things going on here. We can make the results full screen so that there's a little more space to view them. You can download a CSV or a tab separated file. You can also, if you were to select like 10 rows, you could search for whatever you want and filter the results right there. When you're editing queries, until you have a table selected, the type ahead search is going to search table names. So if I want to look at crime, it'll automatically insert that for me. It's always a good idea to put a limit on your queries, and then once you have a table selected, it's going to show you just the columns from that table. So if you start typing something you think is there, that'll show up. But also, if you just hit Control Space, it'll show you the list. So let's just look at the incident numbers. Run that query. A couple other things you can do here. From the schema browser page, if you need to insert the name of a query, cast it to the right type, just double click it, and that'll insert it. You can see it went in there. Similarly, if you don't know where to get started, if you select a query from the examples, it's going to set the editor contents to that. I'm actually going to, and so we can look and see that that's all that's there now, but I actually want all these queries, so I stuck them all back in. On the link page, this creates a deep link of all of your worksheet. So if we were to open in a new window this, it will inherit the query that was there. Every time you make a change here, it gets saved, so when you reload this page, they come back. Which is another good point. By default, it's going to show you the welcome help screen. You can disable that functionality by unchecking that mark. And this has the user guide, which explains all the things that I'm telling you. As I mentioned, you can have multiple queries on the worksheet, and so where your current cursor is or what you have selected designates what query is going to run. And that's about it. Hope you enjoy the tool.